Hello everybody, Andy from Glass Half Dead here, talking today about Kill Team's big... But did you know that there's another game out there, very similar to Kill Team but bigger? Well, it's called 40k, Warhammer 40k, or as they're now using the hashtag new 40k. I'm not actually sure if the algorithm knows I'm saying the hashtag, but I'm saying it regardless, new 40k. Okay. There's a whole load of new things and I'm going to attempt to cover it in as few kind of bullet points as possible without letting this drag on. First up, the Lion. Awesome model. He's a Space Marine, power armored dude with a cloak. It's my weakness. I love it. They literally couldn't have gone wrong with the model and they didn't. Nice. Excellent. You love to see it. I will be painting this. This guy is going to get dry brushed Wraithbone so hard. Let me tell you that. Yes, that's right. Of course, he's going to be in my Tome Keeper colour. There you go. Right. I don't know if much more needs to be said, really. He looks cool. Yeah. He's definitely... The big question is head. For me, can't be the wing thing. I've always thought that looks dumb. I know it's very 40k to have dumb headpieces, but do I want the masked robe head or the cool moustache robe head? Not sure. Maybe magnetize? No, I'm not going to magnetize the head. As soon as I thought it, I knew it was too much. Okay, right, cool. Now, with that cool model done, let's have ourselves a little look at the new edition of 40k. So I'm actually going to just read off some bullet points that a patron sent me because I was asleep and they weren't. So, right. 3 rules from day 1. No new rules for each army via an index. Okay, so they're resetting the whole thing. We're going again. Just like in 8th edition if you were around for that. What this means is that so the currently existing codexes are going to go away. Hold on, let me scroll down. This might make more sense. New Terminators, what do I think about those? They look like the old Terminators. Nice. New Termagants, what do I think about those? They updated sculpts. Nice. Cool. All right, nice. Scroll down, here we go. So I want you to see the data sheet because this is going to presumably help us. Let's just make sure you can actually see that data sheet. Yes, you can. Very good. So also cool to see what the new data sheets are going to look like. What do we have there? We have the abilities. It's looking a little bit Kill Team-y to me. Maybe I just see everything as Kill Team. I don't know. I do like that they finally separated out the faction keyword to be its own thing. So you can't... It's really confusing knowing who can be like combined with other things. I'm glad that they're just saying, hey, faction keywords, you've got to share them. Nice. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so... 3 rules from day 1. Good. AP across the board is going to be dialed down. Thank God. So as someone that has played a little bit of 40k 9th and a little bit of Age of Sigmar, AP was nuts. At least in Sigmar, you just rolled and it kind of made sense. Like what you rolled happened. In 40k, it got weird, man. It was weird. Anyway, I'm glad they're going to wind that in. AP should be a special thing. It shouldn't be on every single gun. Less strats across the board, obviously makes sense. I think we kind of saw the writing on the wall on that one. 1-page rules for each army, effectively. So, okay. What they've said they're going to do, if you read the article, is that every army is going to get 3 rules and it's going to be contained almost on 1 page, if not 2. And that includes your data sheets, but that can't be right. There must be me misremembering or a typo. Your data sheets can't be part of your core rules, I'm sure, unless they're using vector graphics and so have scaled down the data sheets to be this big, the size of a thumbnail. Because obviously, like Space Marines have 1 million data sheets roughly, unless they are actually going to like combine them somehow. But this data sheet here certainly doesn't imply any sort of combination. This isn't Termagants and Hormagants and Gene Stealers. This is just Termagants. So even Tyranids are still going to have like 30 datasheets, you know? So I assume you get your core rules, much like in Kill Team you might get your army list and your abilities, those are your core rules, and then you get your datasheets, they're a separate thing. Either way, at least to begin with, they're all going to be free. The way they worded it, it definitely sounded like if you just want your mechanics and your rules, those will always be free. Those will be given to you as a digital file, no cost. They were still going to sell codexes, and the codex will update your old index, but it's free? Okay. I mean, that's good. I'm trying to find the catch, but that is good. I assume there will be a catch, but we don't have that yet. The data card, this is new. Looks nice, cool. I'm not sure what's actually mechanically different with it. Movement, toughness, save, wound, leadership, thing, DC. What's that? OC, original character, 2. I don't know what that means. And then, so just like in Kill Team, and I'm going to guess like in 40k as well. No, so in 40k, it used to be a case of the data card had a ballistic skill and a weapon skill. Now they've moved that over to your weapon. So, nice, cool. I think it's a much better way of doing it, actually. Because it used to be a case of, oh, if you attack with this weapon, -1 to ballistic skill. And now it's just, they're just going to put that number on. So that's cool. There's going to be changes to phases. The psychic phase is being changed / removed, or it's going to become part of the command phase or something. And psychic abilities will now be attached to your unit datasheet, as opposed to being a separate. It was, I'm going to be honest, I really like the idea of that change. Putting everything you can on the datasheet, I think, is a really good thing. Psychic ability, there were like multiple schools, so I imagine what this means, again, is part of the streamlining. Instead of, you know, being Magnus, I'm going to just guess, having access to every single discipline, psychic discipline, he's just going to get whatever is on the datasheet. Now, they might be super, super powerful psychic abilities on the datasheet, but they're just right there, and you're still only going to have a max of however many you can fit on the datasheet, which I think is good. It's, again, pretty much Age of Sigmar. Like, you know, I'm a Kill Team guy, right? I don't want to jerk off Age of Sigmar too much. But it does seem like, you know, just from the initial pitch, they're kind of Sigmarifying it, which I think is actually a great thing, to be honest with you. One of the big differences that I found with Age of Sigmar versus Kill Team, 40k, sorry, is the lack of rerolls in Sigmar, and I really like that. And I kind of hope that whatever they do with 40k, they do far, far fewer rerolls. It really speeds the game up. Like, once you realise there are no rerolls, you roll and see what happens. It really changes the feel of the game. Okay, morale is changing. Don't know what though. There's a new way to play called combat patrols. Let me scroll down because they did show it. Here we go. So, a brand new way to play. Basically, instead of combat patrol, which used to be a 500-point game, combat patrol is exactly the combat patrol that you can buy in the box. Now, they do say here, this pitches small preset and balanced forces against each other with the armies made of combat patrol boxes. These combat patrol boxes are in no way balanced, so that'll be interesting. I assume that what they've done is said these are our armies that we have to use, and because we know exactly what they are, we are going to give little buffs here because, for example, you know, whatever, as an example, the Astra Militarum combat patrol box, because you generally have a bunch of little weak dudes, might only be 300 points, whereas the Death Guard box might be 600 points. They are going to have to balance that, and presumably, in a similar way that they're going to deliver the full Index 40k Codex rules, they will also deliver the Combat Patrol rules, which will give you your little Combat Patrol abilities that bring them in line with everything else. That's a cool idea. Are people, you know, are people going to run combat patrol boxes? They've just told us it's balanced and it's around 500 points. That'd be fun. I doubt it, because this isn't what 40k is about. This is almost Kill Team, right? This is Kill Team scaled up. This is, you have a set army, you pick your faction, set army, go play the game. Unlike 40k, which is all about list building and about the customizability, and it's entirely possible, at least it was in previous editions, to win the game in list building. Whereas Combat Patrol isn't list building, it's, even if they are all balanced, it's this is my team. Nice. Boarding Patrol is still going to work in 10th. Cool. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. It's nice to know that Boarding Patrol is still going to exist, but at the same time, to what degree? Is it just, because Boarding Patrol can just be line of sight rules. So do they mean something more, or do they just mean we're still going to sell the box? Look, these are line of sight rules for working with that box, and we're done. But then I suppose, in what other way should they support it? It's always been supported as a narrative product, not intended for competition, so that sounds fine actually, yeah, cool. I can't ask for anything more. They're going to give us line of sight rules and how rules work in the new edition, great. There's going to be a way to port over existing Crusades to 10th, I don't care, great. Tyranids are getting the biggest model refresh they've had in forever, good. I'm hyped on that. They haven't shown anything of, so they've shown new rules, but we know that there's going to be a new launch box, much like there was the Indomitus box for Sigmar, there was the Dominion box. What next? What's it going to be called now? We already know the name of the new Crusade, don't we? I'm not going to look for it, but I'm sure we know. We already know what this box is going to be called. But I'm hyped on it, that's for sure. Yeah, very hyped, very excited. Because I imagine the way it's going to work, if we think of the Indomitus box, you could probably just pick up 2 or 3, and that will be a full Tyranid army of all new models. Yes, very excited for that. Because I'm a Xenos lover through and through, there's no doubt about that. And honestly, if I think about my favourite factions, 100%, it's just the Tau Orcs, Necrons, Tyranids. Straight up. So the fact that Necrons got a refresh last edition, and now Tyranids. Oh, and Orcs already look amazing since they redid the boys. So I'm in heaven. I'm in Xenos heaven. New Liar model, cover that obviously. New Terminator models, they look crap. Cool. Sorry, how insensitive of me to the marine lovers out there. They look, let me scroll up, here we go. They look like Terminators. That's a good thing. I have just put together some of the old Deathwing Terminators. So I know how that kit is to put together. And I've got to be honest with you, it's dated. It's not bad, but when you compare the old kit to, for example, the new Chaos Terminators, those Chaos Terminators are looking good. It's a very different aesthetic, slightly larger, slightly crisper details. That old Deathwing Terminator squad was better than I expected it to be, but, you know, proportionately, stumpy dudes. I would like some big, chunky Terminators. That's exactly what we're getting. Whew, okay, and that's it. Cool. I don't think there's anything else to say, because we don't know anything else, and I kind of covered it all there, really. I'm definitely excited for 10th, like I can't lie, very excited for 10th. For example, if you hung around to the end of this, you're probably already a subscriber, but I have another channel called Full Scale Wargaming. I was very excited for Age of Sigmar, then I was very excited for 40k, then I was very excited for War Machine, but now I haven't posted for a while, and that's because big things are coming over there. Big things that are not Glass Half Dead, but are more higher quality than Glass Half Dead. over on Full Scale Wargaming. Go check that out. Subscribe now. 40k. When it launches in June, I think the rumoured date is June 24th or something like that. Once that comes around, you can expect to see that channel burst into life. So go check out Full Scale Wargaming. Hasn't been posted on in ages, but prepare yourself. Alright, thank you very much for watching, everybody. 40k hype, kill team hype. Let's do it.